This lesson is going to cover the perfect system of deponent verbs. Remember, as you've seen already, a deponent verb looks passive, but translates active. So remember the verb, say, sequor. Although it looks passive, this or ending really means I follow. Now the same thing is going to work for the perfect system. And remember, the perfect system has three tenses included. That is the perfect, the pluperfect, so the perfect I have followed, pluperfect I had followed, and the future perfect I will have followed. So we're going to be able to say this with deponents. Now remember, in the perfect system you used the fourth principal part, that is the perfect passive participle, and a form of sum, a form of to be. The same thing is going to be the case with deponent verbs, but instead of the fourth principal part, you're going to use the third principal part, which is in fact the perfect passive participle. So let's take a look at this, at these verbs. The perfect tense. Now remember, this is going to be I have blanked. Right? I have done something. So we're going to take a look at the verb moror, morari, moratus sum. It's a first conjugation. It means to delay. And I want to note that all verbs of just like with the perfect active or the perfect passive system, perfect deponents, it doesn't matter what conjugation you're dealing in, you're still going to be using this third principal part here, this participle, and a form of to be. So in the first person singular, moratus, or a or remember this is an adjective, so it's going to modify your subject, and sum, I have delayed. Moratus a est, you have delayed. Moratus a est, he, she, or it has delayed. In the plural, our participle has to go plural too. So morati, moratai, or morata sumus, we have delayed. Morati, moratai, morata estis, you have delayed. Morati, moratai, morata sunt, they have delayed. So, things to keep in mind here. This part of the participle, right, the ending, has to match your subject. So if it's the boy that has delayed, puer, he's going to moratus est. But if it's a puella, she morata est. Okay? Or if we have delayed, and we are a group of men, so we men, viri, morati sumus. So we could say nos viri morati sumus. But if it's women, nos feminae moratai sumus. So watch the ending of your participle, make sure it matches the subject, and then the tense is really going to be determined by the form of to be. So see here, sum es est, sumus estis sunt. The perfect tense uses the present of sum. And you'll recall I just said all verbs work the same way. So if we take a look at sequor, sequi, secutus, sum, follow, right? We're going to use our third principal part, secutus, secuta, secutum, and then a form of sum. Secutus a est, secutus a est. And in the plural, secuti, secutai, secuta, sumus, secuti I a estis, secuti I a sunt. So the perfect tense, we're going to use that perfect, or the present form of sum. That's the perfect tense. So here, I have followed. All I would have to say is secutus sum. Now onto the pluperfect. Had, right? Had delayed. We'll stick with our verb moror, morari, moratus sum. So I had delayed, or you had delayed. We're going to follow the same principle with our participle, us, a, in the singular, or I, a in the plural, or masculine nominative plural, feminine nominative plural, neuter nominative plural. But instead of the present of sum, we're going to use the imperfect of sum. So, moratus a eram, moratus a eras, moratus a erat, morati a eramus, morati a eratus, morati a erant. The participle is the same. It's the form of sum that changes. So if we want to say that the women had delayed, feminae morati erant. Or if we want to say that the slave had delayed, servus moratus erat. And on to the future perfect. Will have blanked. Will have, in this case, delayed. So, stick with our moror, morari, moratus. Our participle stays the same. And now we're going to use the future of sum. Ero, moratus eris, moratus erit. Morati erimus, morati eritis, morati erunt. So if you, and let's say you are a group of girls, vos puellae moratae feminine, eritis, you will have delayed. You girls will have delayed. And if it's boys, pueri morati eritis, you boys will have delayed. So keys to watching, keys for the perfect system of deponent verbs. 1, the participle portion matches the subject. Remember, this is the third principal part in a deponent verb. The tense is determined by the form of sum. So watch that form of sum. The present equals the perfect tense. The present of sum is the perfect tense, passive. The imperfect of sum is the pluperfect. And the future of sum is the future perfect. And the final thing to remember, as with all deponents, it looks passive, but translate it actively. It's not, I wouldn't say, moratus sum is not, I have been delayed, as if someone else did this to me, but rather, I have delayed.